Country brought to you by Joe Everhart Happel with Coldwell Banker First Choice, Haverstock Funeral Home and Cremation Services, Mike Nagy with Cross Country Mortgage, and by Burdine Autobody.
Latest news from Stan Maddox. The most accurate weather from staff meteorologist Wayne Mahar. Your number one source for news and information in LaPorte County is 96.7 The Eagle. Welcome to Sound Off on 96.7 The Eagle, LaPorte County's original social media. Sound Off is a public interest forum that encourages your voice to be heard on the topics and issues impacting our local communities. For the next 30 minutes, we invite you to be part of the conversation by calling 219-362-0522. And you can now text your questions to the Liquor Vault on-air line or by email to soundoff@967theeagle.com. This is a topic-based program, and we ask that you keep your comments brief, concise, and related to the topic being discussed. The views expressed on Sound Off are those of the hosts or callers and do not represent the opinion of 96.7 The Eagle, Spoon River Media, LLC, or the sponsors. The Liquor Vault on-air line is now open for your calls or texts at 219-362-0522. This is Sound Off on 96.7 The Eagle.
Hello, friends. It's me again, Nate Laux, your friendly neighborhood Sound Off host. Glad to be with you on this jury day in LaPorte, Indiana. We've got each other, right? We've got a great show for you today as Lisa Pierzakowski, the Center Township Trustee, and Guy DiMartino, the legal counsel for the LaPorte County Council, among many other things, joins me in the studio. If you have a question, call or text the Liquor Vault on-air line at 219-362-0522 or email me at soundoff@967theeagle.com. But first, on this day in history, it was on October 15th, 1991, after a bitter confirmation hearing, the United States Senate voted 52-48 to confirm Clarence Thomas to the U.S. Supreme Court. In July 1991, Thurgood Marshall, the first black American to sit on the Supreme Court, announced his retirement after 34 years. President George Bush nominated Clarence Thomas, a 43-year-old African-American judge known for his conservative beliefs, to fill the seat. Thomas had been chairman of the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, the EEOC, during the Reagan administration, and in 1990, George Bush had appointed him to the U.S. Court of Appeals. Clarence Thomas was born in 1948 in Pinpoint, Georgia, a small, predominantly black community near Savannah, founded by freedmen after the Civil War. He was the second of three children born to a farm worker and a domestic worker. There were descendants of American slaves, and the family smoked gullah, which is a form of Creole, as a first language. Thomas's father left the family when Thomas was only 2 years old. Though Thomas's mother worked hard, she was sometimes paid only in pennies and struggled to earn enough money to feed the family, and was sometimes forced to rely on charity. Clarence Thomas is the longest-serving Supreme Court justice on the current court. Though the average justice serves for 16 years, Thomas is now almost at 30 years of service. Only 15 justices in the history of the Supreme Court have served longer. And that's on this day in history. My guests today are Lisa Pierzakowski, the Center Township Trustee, and Guy DiMartino, the legal counsel for the LaPorte County Council. Lisa, welcome back to the show. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Thank you for having me.
Good. Guy, welcome to the show for the first time. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me, Nate.
Good. So, Lisa, I want to get a little bit of a COVID kind of update. I know from our work with the PAC Center, your work here, how has the last year and a half been for the Center Township Trustee?
That's a loaded question.
I know.
It has been crazy. I know with the food pantry, it's been kind of slow. The numbers are just starting to go back up. But as far as our office has been extremely busy. This last month, I don't know. I don't know how we do it right now with NIPSCO disconnects and evictions and everything else going on. Of course, energy assistance is starting now, so people are coming in wanting applications for that. But it's just been a very, very busy year.
I want to talk a little bit about evictions because obviously people have heard of ARP, they've heard of the CARES Act. There's been money put into the kind of filtered into the American public for assistance. Maybe it's food assistance, maybe it's rental assistance, these kind of things. We've got eviction assistance. Guy, will you explain a little bit about the program that's happening right now with eviction assistance? Because there might be somebody listening to this program that might be, on the brink of getting evicted from their home or from their apartment or something like that. What is this program that the government has going on?
Well, the governmental program is not our program here in LaPorte. So there's a lot of programs out there. The federal government gave the state government money, and we don't know what the state government is doing with that money.
Where's that money? Nobody knows.
Nobody knows how to get them to release it locally. So a few months ago, the commission came to the LaPorte County Council and said, look, we have been given money by the federal government for the American Relief Plan, and we would like the county council to appropriate some of this money for eviction assistance because we're concerned here in LaPorte County about people being on the streets. And so when I looked at this issue, the council appointed me to take a look at the issue. We believe that the township trustees would be in the best position to actually administer the program because they have all the information and they're able to gather the information. So if somebody is behind in their rent or an eviction has been, either they received a notice to quit or an eviction has been filed, they need to, number one, contact their landlord and say, look, I'm going to go ahead and try to go through the assistance program. Then they're to contact their trustee. Lisa has really taken the brunt of doing the paperwork, so she's doing Center Township and she's helping the Cool Spring Township trustee in order to do the paperwork. So it's going to be the same application process that you would have at the trustee's office, and Lisa can go ahead and explain that. However, once she determines that they qualify for the funds, then depending upon the amount that is in the arrears, there's two ways. If the amount in the arrears meets our qualifications and our monetary amount, then we can go ahead and negotiate with the landlord right then through the trustee's office, get them paid, and get them, stay in their homes so they're not evicted. However, if the monies are higher, once higher than the $7,500, which we have allotted, then if they qualify and they're going to qualify for the full amount, then you're going to need an agreement between the landlord and the tenant to go into the state facilitation program, which the state has local judges and local lawyers that are part of this program, which will do a mediation. And they say that they're going to get you in within 10 days, and they can do it by phone, they can do it by Zoom. It's not like you have to go in person. Like Judge Lang, who's retired from LaPorte County, she's one of the facilitators for the state. The reason why we want that done, it's free to us. So we don't have any, we're trying to save this money so it can be used for folks who are being evicted, and the state program is free. If we have to hire facilitators, if we have to hire, judges to come in, we're going to have a whole bunch of administrative costs. So Lisa's taken this work on. The Cool Spring Township trustee has taken this work on with no additional help because everybody understands that we want to save administrative costs. Once they come to an agreement with the state facilitator, then they'll come back to the trustee's office. The trustee will do a voucher, and they will get paid. Now, there could be multiple funds in which the person will be able to get the money. For instance, if it's COVID related, there's a fund. There could be some money from the United Way, and then there's a match from the council.
All right. So I do want to push back a little bit because this is still, a lot of it is governmental money, but it's not the federal government. This is our county government saying there's a problem and we want to participate in our own budget in helping our residents not be evicted, correct?
Right. So you see, but there's a plenty of money at the state that the feds have already given the state for this.
Yeah, we just don't have it.
People are not able to get it. Even people, I understand, Lisa can talk to this, so she's boots on the ground, but as I understand that even people have been approved still have not gotten the state funding.
Lisa, where's that money?
Well, it's interesting you say that because the Indiana Star just contacted me today to do an interview because they are asking the state where the funding is. And I was just at the IHCDA conference here, or Indiana Township Association conference a couple weeks ago, and somebody from IHCDA was there, and she said that everybody's getting their funding within 3 weeks. And I said, okay, here's my list. These people are still waiting 5 and 6 months later. Well, that can't be happening. Okay, well, let's look at each of these accounts. And she looked at some of the accounts and she was like, everything's there. I don't know why they're not being funded. And I said, that's exactly what we're saying. And that's what everybody is saying. And our big point was to the state was, why would you not give it to the trustees to make sure that the trustees receive the funding to be doing this? Because we are the very front line. When somebody needs help with rent, NIPSCO, and water, they're not thinking to go to IHCDA. They're not thinking about going to these other agencies. They go to the trustee's office. When you call 211 and you need something, 211 sends them to the trustee's office. They don't send them someplace else. So right now, when somebody's coming in, we do sit down and do the IHCDA application with them. And working with the judges, if they receive the IHCDA funding after we have already funded it, that money has to go back to the townships. And we've had a couple already that have happened in Michigan City at Canterbury, where they received the IHCDA money after we had funded it, and then Canterbury returned the money to the township trustee. So, and just to go back, so my office is basically handling 20 of the 21 townships right now. Michigan Township is handling their own. So I am handling the 20. We are using the Cool Spring office. Their trustee is there, but she's not able to process the applications right now because she's only been a trustee for a couple months.
So you're using that as a satellite kind of?
We're using, yeah. So usually Thursdays I'm over in Michigan City. Actually, sometimes Monday or Tuesday I'm over there because she is still a new trustee, and she's doing a great job and, learning the process and helping every way she possibly can. So, but with the county funding, we're able to use the United Way funding because in October of last year, I went to United Way and we received grant money from United Way, and I was able to get it for Center Township, Michigan Township, and Cool Springs. So we all three received some funding. So we were using United Way money, and then we were using our township funds. Now myself, I actually wrote a grant also with the city of LaPorte, so I have CDBG funding, but that is COVID related only. But there again, that is for the entire city of LaPorte. So not only is that Center Township, but that would be part of Scipio, part of Kankakee, part of, the different ones that touch.
You have to be in the city proper.
You have to be in the city. So we do still have some of that. So that's why I said, if you are a month behind, 2 months behind, 3 months behind, contact, your trustee first of all, and then they will contact me and let me know, hey, George called, he's 3 months behind. I've given him your phone number, set up, a time with them. So it is working with the other trustees because we've done Union Township, we've done Scipio, we've done Kankakee. I don't know if Clinton, we had one with Clinton, but I'm not sure. Hudson Township. So we have worked with some of the other townships, Pleasant Township, and we've been able to fund to keep people in their housing. And Nate, as you know, we do have a housing shortage going on in LaPorte and Michigan City both. So if the county hadn't stepped in to help us with this, we would have more people living on the streets right now, and we would have tents. But I will say I'm still very, very nervous about this because there are some people that just decided not to pay their rent. They still had an income every month. They were receiving Social Security. They were receiving their unemployment. They were receiving an income. They just decided not to pay their rent. They are not going to qualify. Mm-hmm. Now, if they were receiving unemployment or Social Security and something happened, there was an emergency, like we had a lady come in and she's going through cancer right now, she's going through all these other things, of course we're going to fund that. We're not going to let her get evicted because that's out of her element, that she couldn't have stopped that. But anybody that, had their funding every month and just decided not to pay their rent, they're going to have to figure that out.
All right, we've got Lisa Pierzakowski on the show and Guy DiMartino. We're talking about evictions. We're talking about homelessness. We're talking about all kinds of different things that are happening in the county to help everyone make sure that they're going to be okay. There's different funds, whether it's county funds, state funds, the mysterious where is it at state funds, and then federal funds as well. We're going to take a really quick break. If you have a question for any of our guests today, the Liquor Vault on-air line is 219-362-0522. I see we already have a call. You're welcome to call and text me. If you have a question, I'd be happy to ask them as well. But stay right there where you're at. We're going to be right back here on 96.7 The Eagle.
Tire sale on now at both Cannon's locations. Brands like Michelin, Hankook, Hercules, and Cooper. Rebates of up to $160. Free alignment inspection and schedule your fall tune-up, oil change, tire rotation, brake inspection, and winter-ready inspection, all for $56.02. Don't wait weeks for auto repairs. Same-day appointments available. See the experts at Cannon Automotive. 2 great locations, 710 Tyler and 909 Boyd Boulevard. Go further with Cannon's Automotive.
Join 96.7 The Eagle every Sunday morning from 9 to 9:30 a.m. for Bethany Church's Sound Up. Enlighten your Sunday morning with inspirational words of faith from Pastor Dennis Meyer. Bethany Church's Sound Up every Sunday morning from 9 to 9:30 a.m. on 96.7 The Eagle.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the pilot speaking. We'll be landing soon at LaPorte Airport. If you look out the right side of the plane, you'll see Pine Lake. Off to the left is the Civic Auditorium. And up ahead, all that traffic you see is headed to LaPorte Chrysler Dodge and Jeep at 1309 Pine Lake Avenue. LaPorte Chrysler Dodge and Jeep, fully stocked with new and late model cars, trucks, minivans, and SUVs. And for more information on the cars on the lot, call 326-6850 or hit your flight attendant call button now.
So who's hungry? Good, because I've got a deal for you. Hey, it's Dennis Siddell. Make sure you listen for Denny's Diner weekdays at 6:55 right here on the Morning Mayhem. Both Joe and I will be cooking up some country trivia questions, and if you have the correct answer, you'll be the winner of a $20 gift card from either JJ's Side Out Bar and Grill, Wana Pizza, The Burger Bar and Grill, Nowhere Bar and Grill, and T-Berry's Diner. Make sure to join us for Denny's Diner at 6:55 a.m. during the Morning Mayhem for your chance to win a 96.7 The Eagle.
If you're not already banking at Grand Heritage Federal Credit Union, you may be wondering what the differences are between us and others, like banks. Come in today and let us show you how you can put more money in your pocket by banking with Grand Heritage, a credit union, like free checking, Christmas clubs, auto loans as low as 2.74% with terms up to 84 months, Visa credit card with low fixed rate of 9.95% with no annual fees, children's accounts with no fees and no minimum balances, just to name a few of our services. For your convenience, we also have 3,000 plus shared branches, not only in Indiana, but across the United States. And when you call, you get a real person on the line, not some automation. Stop in today. Start benefiting as others have with Grand Heritage, here locally since 1964 at 201 Kumler Drive, LaPorte. Your money is federally insured by NCUA at Grand Heritage Federal Credit Union.
We're waiting to hear from you. Dial or text 362-0522 and let us know what you think. That's 362-0522. Back to Sound Off on 96.7 The Eagle.
All right, welcome back, friends. Thanks so much for listening to Sound Off. We've got Guy DiMartino and Lisa Pierzakowski on the show today. We're talking about different federal funds and local funds and different things like that to help with those who are disadvantaged right now, especially those if you are in process of getting evicted from your home. There are ways to help you. And so we're talking about that a little bit. If you've got a question, 219-362-0522, or any other question, just come on and ask anyway. So let's get to our first caller. Welcome to the show. Glad to have you. What's your question for our guests?
My question concerns homelessness on both ends. It's sort of a two-part. One, I'm glad to see that you guys are recognizing that some people are playing the system, and I hope we make them pay for that. The first part is, if the county money is used, are you making sure the landlords get that money and the rent is paid? Chicago's done a lot of that, giving it to tenants, and they never paid the rent, and now they're crying to be evicted. And Lisa, your passion is homelessness. God bless you. I think you do a wonderful job on that. I defer with your expertise because you see the numbers and the figures. But you've been to the council and you've been to the city, and I believe you're asking for ARP funds to create a homeless shelter. That's a one-time cash infusion, What would your plan be to fund that in the future once that money is gone and there's an expense every year after that? Because Mr. Rosenbaum has already let the cat out of the bag about possible new taxes, which we can't afford anymore. Thank you.
Thanks for calling.
Well, first of all, thank you. Nobody receives the money up front. As far as the tenant, the money goes directly to the landlord. It's always been like that with the township, and the same thing with the county funding, anything else. The AR or the state funding, the IHCDA, that comes directly to the tenant, but the check is made to the tenant and the landlord. So they both have to sign off, and that money is supposed to go to the landlord. But as far as our money, it goes directly to the landlord. As far as the for the homeless shelter, as most of the hopefully the listeners know, this hasn't been just Lisa. This has been a group event. This has been a team event, and we have several churches that have been involved in that. And it might be the township purchasing the building and doing some of the renovations and stuff, but it is going to be the same exact way as it has been in the shelters before, and that's volunteers. And with the help of the 4 or 5 churches that we've been working with, that's how it would be run. It'd be run with volunteers. Now, if we do the building, the homeless shelter, if that is to happen, we would like to extend it a little bit more and possibly do some other things with that. And then we would need to be writing grants, which I write grants in my office all the time. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to fund half the things that I do. But we would be writing grants, and there would be a person, a paid person on staff, basically a house manager on staff at all times, which I think really needs to happen, because that is how you're going to get that person that's working with the clientele every day. And the more that you see those clients every day, the more you work with those clients every day, the more they start to trust you, they start to talk to you, they start to work with you so that you can help them get to the next step. And that's my biggest issue. If I'm not able to see them every day and talk to them every day, they don't know me well enough, they don't trust me enough. So it's a matter of getting a building to where we can see them every day. And that's why my main goal was to get the property in Jefferson, and that would be my office along with a day center. And with that day center, we would have the showers, the washers and dryers, and a place where they could come in and have lunch, a cup of coffee, whatever. But that way they would be in a location every day with me, so that they're working with me and trust me, so that we can get them to their next level, whether it be housing, whether it be addiction counseling, mental illness counseling, or something like that. But anybody that knows that works with homeless and the mental illness that go hand in hand, if you can't get them to trust you and work with you, they're not going to do what they need to do. So.
All right, we've got Lisa Pierzakowski and Guy DiMartino on Sound Off today. Thank you so much for listening. If you've got a question, 219-362-0522. The Liquor Vault on-air line is open. You can text me or call me. Let's get to another call. Thank you so much for listening. Thanks for calling. What's your question for our guest today?
Hi, Lisa. Number one, I think you're doing a fantastic job. My thing, I guess what I just want to say is it is a total shame that we let go of the county home. And I know it needed some investment and some upgrades done to it, but we invested a lot of money in that county home. I guess it's years ago now, but it doesn't seem that long ago. And it could have been used for this purpose, not for veterans. It could have been used for a multitude of purposes. And now we're sitting there and we're looking at, okay, we've got to find a shelter. And we had one. And I'm very compassionate about that county home. I don't know why, but I always have been. And I just think it's a shame that we let it go. And we didn't invest the money that needed to be invested in it. And we would have really had a nice building and a nice area to take care of these issues. That's all I wanted to say.
All right, thank you. Lisa, you have any comments on the county home?
Yeah, that is my passion too. People that have followed me in my political career the last 7 years know that the county home was near and dear to my heart, because I lived it since the age of 13, been involved with the county home. So working with the agency that I'm on the board with, Homeward Bound, we had gone to the council and we actually offered them $100,000 for the county home at one time, and that was rejected. And then as far as when it went up to bid, we had no idea that that building went up for bid. Had we known, we would have been right there. But when we found out that the county home sold for $50,000, we were shocked and hurt and upset. And it is sad that the building is sitting empty, because that is a building that could be used for so many things right now. We could be using it not only for a shelter, but it could be used for, mental illness and addiction and stuff like that. There's so many things that building could be used for. So I agree 110% with you.
Guy, I want to talk real briefly. We've got Guy DiMartino and Lisa Pierzakowski on the show. Extra unemployment benefits, they expired in the end of August. And many wanted the Biden administration to carry those on. Many didn't. And the Biden administration didn't carry those on. So tell us a little bit, talk to us for those that are, again, as Lisa said, people that are maybe unemployed because of COVID, these kind of things. If you are unemployed right now and you're searching for unemployment, or you think that this benefit is going to last forever, you're mistaken, correct?
Well, yes, but not only that, but the bigger thing that I think we're going to see coming down the pike is that the eligibility requirement, the workforce department didn't have the manpower to go ahead and make sure that everybody was eligible at the times when they were eligible. So they started dishing out the money, and now they're catching up, and they're going back and they're redetermining whether folks were eligible. And many folks are getting bills in the mail for $3,000, $5,000, $7,000, where they're saying, we want to be paid back.
This isn't theoretical. You know this is happening, correct?
This is happening.
Yeah.
I have seen these bills. And so what they're saying is, now we've determined that you were not eligible for the extended benefit. That's what we've seen in a number of the notices. So, that could be an issue. So if you have the state who's going to eventually send it to a collection agency, who's eventually going to go ahead and file suit against you for collection, you're going to have that issue also.
So just because you can get unemployment perhaps right now doesn't mean that the system won't catch up on you and say you shouldn't have been getting unemployment.
And just because you got it doesn't mean that everything's good, because they're going back retroactively and determining eligibility.
Which kind of, for me, Lisa, talks a little bit more about jobs going on right now. There are jobs available, correct?
Oh, we have so many jobs. I work with the 3 temp agencies, and I contact them at least once or twice a week, and they're telling me about all the jobs they have. As a matter of fact, Integrity called me last week, and they're like, I need 30 people. And I'm like, I wish I had 30 people, but I don't have 30 people that want to work. So they are, employers are begging. They're begging for workers. You see restaurants that can't open up their indoor eating because they don't have enough workers. You see restaurants that close at 8 o'clock because they don't have enough workers. So the work field, anybody to say that they can't find a job or can't get a job, I'm sorry, that's just unacceptable right now. Because if you truly want a job, we can get you a job.
You were saying before off there that in your time of being a trustee, you've never seen so many jobs available, correct?
No, never. And like I tell everybody that walks in the door, I said, if you ever wanted your dream job, now's the time, because you can pick and choose any job you want. But then again, we have people that come in and they come back from the temp agency and they said, well, they don't have anybody, they don't have a job to offer me for more than $15 an hour sitting in my butt. And I said, okay, but you're refusing employment, so I can't fund you. You are refusing employment, because $15 an hour is more than what you're making right now. You're not making anything. So $15 an hour. And then we'll have people say, well, I don't have childcare. Guess what? I have childcare funding. I will fund the first 2 weeks for you to go to work. I will pay for your childcare for the first 2 weeks. And then that third week, you'll start getting your check. And then you can take care of it from there. There's no excuses right now.
And it sounds like, too, the federal government's working on that as well, to take that away as a hurdle to getting gainfully employed, to say we might actually have some funds for that in the future as well. So if that's your excuse now, or if that's the thing that's getting you to not work, that will get taken care of. And so it's probably better to get the job you want now while it's available, rather than waiting, because that hurdle will likely be diminished in the future. So,
well, the other thing is $15 is starting. And then in 90 days, 180 days, in a year, you're up at $20 an hour. And then it's just going to go north of there. So folks are just looking at it in the short term.
All right. We've got Guy DiMartino and Lisa Pierzakowski on the show today. If you have a question, 219-362-0522. We're going to take another quick break, our final break of the day. Again, thank you so much for listening. Thanks for being with us today. Keep listening to 96.7 The Eagle.
Ben Conowitz here, LaPorte Seamless Gutter, 219-362-9972. Fall is here, and that means leaves and debris for your gutter system. We've got 3 separate types of gutter guard for your home. Leaves and debris come in all shapes and sizes. We don't need a one-size-fits-all for your gutter. Give us a call today for a free estimate at 219-362-9972, or you can visit us on the web, www.lpseamless.com.
Menards has everything you need to give your bathroom an updated look. Check out our great selection of Dakota vanities. They feature generous interior storage in a variety of styles and finishes to choose from. Save with 11% off all Dakota vanities. Get 11% off everything now at Menards. Good through October 16th. Savings are mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
Guarantees in life are hard to find, but at Surf Broadband Solutions, your monthly internet price is locked in for life. Reliable 100% fiber internet with the same upload and download speeds, plus no contract, no data caps, and free installation. Get your Gig City price for LaPorte today. $65 a month, guaranteed for life. Call 844-855-5333 or go to iwant.fiber.today.
Have an anniversary coming up? Enter the Tradio Anniversary Club. Every weekday at 9:30 a.m., we read all the anniversaries for the day, and every Friday, one lucky couple will receive a $20 gift certificate to Tony Floral and Gifts. To enter, go to 967theeagle.com and click the Submit tab and enter your information right there. Or write the couple's name, address, phone number, and anniversary date on a 3x5 card and mail it or drop it off here at the Radio Center, 1700 Lincoln Way Place, Suite 5. The Tradio Anniversary Club, every weekday at 9:30 a.m. on 96.7 The Eagle.
You might know MD Wise is a provider of health insurance, and we are, but we feel called to do way more than that. Like arranging free rides for those who don't have another way to get to the doctor, the dentist, or the drugstore. We also know healthy food is important, so we arrange free rides to the grocery and farmer's market too. These are just a few of our extra services, because caring for Hoosiers beyond insurance could be the wisest thing we do. mdwise.org/more.
LaPorte County Cars, the car business done right. Locally owned, great inventory with conventional and in-house financing. Transparent sales from start to finish. See them at LaPorteCountyCars.com, on Facebook, or stop in and see Gene today.
Michiana weather.
Highs level off around 63 this afternoon under cloudy skies with a chance for scattered rain showers. Northwesterly winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. From the Weather Center at HometownNewsNow.com, I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley. Right now, 63.
Your opinion matters. We invite you to share it by calling or texting the Liquor Ball on-air line at 362-0522. That's 362-0522. Now, back to Sound Off on 96.7 The Eagle.
Welcome back, friends. So glad to have you with us on today's show. Hey, I want to remind you as well, if you ever miss an episode of Sound Off, you're welcome to listen on our podcast that we update after each show. If you miss an episode and you want to hear what the guest is, it is available for you. Just go to hometownnewsnow.com, or you can find it wherever fine podcasts are found. All right, let's get to a caller. We've got Lisa Pierzakowski and Guy DiMartino on the show today. What's your question for them?
Good afternoon, everybody.
Hi.
Kind of a two-part thing. First of all, it seems like if you build it, they will come. And that seems like part of the problem. If you can tell me after I hang up, how many people do we get here from other areas? Because, I mean, some of these people I just never seen before. And over in Michigan City, they're taking over corners, like on 400 North, and then even on Woodland and Paz. And then downtown is a pretty bad area. My wife works downtown. She used to like walking on her breaks and at lunch, and now she can't because she gets harassed by people with signs asking for money. They walk out in front of cars, and I know they passed a law that they're allowed to do that now. But what can Michigan City do? I know you're helping the people that want to get helped, but what can we do about the people that don't want to get help and they're just like, harassing people on the streets? I'll hang up and listen, but I'm just curious, what can be done to put a stop to it? Thank you.
Well, first of all, I will tell you that nobody is allowed into the shelter in Michigan City, and nobody was allowed in the shelter in LaPorte unless they had an ID showing that they were from LaPorte County. We were not accepting anybody outside, and I know for a fact that we've had some people come in from outside, whether it be Valpo, Gary, Chicago, and stuff like that. And I will tell you how many times I've put people on the bus to send them back where they came from, because we cannot help them here. We have to help those that are from our county before we help anybody else. Just like I wish the whole United States would do that. We wouldn't be in the situation we are in currently if we helped those in our area. So as far as the other areas you're talking about, I'm not from Michigan City, but I know they do a great job in Michigan City at the shelter. What I'm talking about having the day center would be so that everybody is in one location, so that you didn't have the people going around town sleeping on benches or sleeping behind dumpsters and, doing all those different things. It would be having them in one area, in one building, to prevent that. But there again, that's still a dream we're working on.
All right, we've been talking to Guy DiMartino and Lisa Pierzakowski, and one of the things that we've been talking about is this county funds that were given to help people not get evicted from their home. Now, Guy, I want to talk a little bit more about this just so we get all of our kind of bases covered, because there are benefits for the landlords as well. And, but if you're a landlord listening to this, and we're talking about eviction and things like this, what do you want our landlords to know?
Well, the two benefits for the landlord, number one, is that if they get possession and they evict the tenant, the odds are of their getting their monies that are in their arrearage is practically zero, because if these people can't pay rent, even if you get a judgment against them for $4,000, $5,000, $10,000, you're never going to collect it. It's the first thing. Second thing is, if the tenant is able to stay in the apartment, then you don't have to go in and spend thousands of dollars changing the flooring, painting, remodeling. So you make it on both ends. Now, I understand there's some situations that are just untenable. You want the tenant to leave, they're disruptive to other, neighbors. Those things happen. But sometimes the landlord's just frustrated with the process and they don't see the benefit.
And I think it's a good point to say, too, if the landlords want to get paid from this fund, which they can, they also the renters need to stay there for at least 30 days afterwards?
Yeah, it's just like with the township funding. When we contact the landlord, we let them know that, we're going to pay this much in rent, but we need to know that you're not going to evict them for 30 days. Because if you sign this voucher and we send you a check, you cannot start eviction process for 30 days. And we've had a couple of landlords try it, and we've been able to go in front of the judges and produce the documents, and then it was another 30 days. So, yes, that's the same thing with the county funding. You cannot evict for 30 days.
All right, let's get to another caller. We've got Lisa Pierzakowski and Guy DiMartino on Sound Off today. What's your question for them?
Hey, I'm pushing 100 years old. I'm telling you one thing, you're doing a great job. You're a great pastor. And I wake up praying 2 or 3 in the morning, sometimes 6 in the morning. First name I pray for is Nate.
Oh,
you're doing a great job, and God bless you, buddy.
You're now my favorite listener. All right, buddy. Thank you so much.
Yes, I am.
Thank you.
Hey, I am. Have a good day.
Take care, buddy. Thank you so much.
I have to at my age. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much.
And on that note, Nate, my hero is Ben Conowitz, and I know he's been sick right now. Can you be nice to my friend, please?
See, here's the thing about Ben Conowitz and LaPorte Seamless Gutter. They're now officially sponsors of the show, so I have to, when I'm on air, be kind to Ben Conowitz. That doesn't mean outside of this 45 minutes that I need to be. But, while we're here, we'll say nice things about my buddy Ben Conowitz.
He is my hero.
I will say this, there's no place I'd rather get gutters from than LaPorte Seamless Gutter. All right, hey guys, I want to thank you so much for being on the show. We've had Lisa Pierzakowski, Guy DiMartino. Guy, what's one thing you want to make sure that our listeners know?
If you know somebody who is struggling and they're about to be evicted, reach out to Lisa.
Lisa, what's one thing you want our listeners to know?
You can reach out to me at my office at 219-362-2736. My cell is 219-851-8739. Please reach out to your trustee first. If you're in Center Township, you can contact our office and we'll get you in as soon as possible. I am in my office Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, but I'm here all the other time. Stop laughing, Dennis. We try to set up appointments on Thursdays for any of our clients that are in Michigan City or in that area. We will meet them in the Michigan City office at the Cool Spring office. But otherwise, I will meet you before work. I will meet you after work. I will meet you on the weekends. We never, ever, ever want any of our clients to miss any work. So I make my schedule around their schedule.
So if you have a question, if you're going through eviction, processes, again, talk to Lisa. There might be help for you. There are funds from our county council. There are funds from some other different kind of United Way, different things that we would love to help you. I know Lisa loves to help, and if there's a possibility to do that, not saying it will, but if there's a possibility, she'll certainly do that. So I want to thank you so much for being on the show. Thank you so much for listening. Thanks for calling in and texting. We appreciate you so much. We're going to be back on Monday. My guest will be Karen Bernacki, who is going to talk a little bit about DCS, what's happening with kids, child abuse, as we've, obviously all been gutted by recent headlines. We're going to talk about that kind of stuff as well. And then, hey, be good to yourself, be good to others. Have a great weekend, and keep listening to 96.7 The Eagle.